Hi class, in this video we are going to continue our discussion about speed word problems. Let's have more examples on solving real-life problems involving rational functions, equations, and inequalities. So for our first problem, this is just similar to our previous examples. So we have Mark's average speed of 50 kilometers per hour, where he plans to drive for another 40 kilometers from work. How long will it take him to cover the whole distance? So in any worded problems, let's enumerate or list down our known and unknown variables. First, for our known or our given, we have the speed, which is 50 kilometers per hour. And we all know that there is a distance from the house to his work, which is 25 kilometers. Then, so this will be distance sub 1 natin, no? Para emphasize na that is the first distance. Then we have distance or d sub 2, which is equal to 40 kilometers. So this is from his work to another location. So from work to another location. So let's say that's P or party or parking or just another locations. So what are we going to find from our problem? We are looking for how long. So it means we are trying to find the time it takes for him to cover the whole distance travel from home to work, then to another location. So time. For our solution, we are going to use our speed formula, which is speed is equal to distance over time. However, for this problem, we are particularly looking for the time. So, ang formula na gagamitin natin is time is equal to distance over speed. So, that is d over s or distance over speed. So, given that we have our formula now, so ayusin lang natin. I-substitute na natin yung ating mga given. First, for our distance. So, ang distance natin ay hindi lang isa, kundi magiging dalawa. Kasi meron tayo from his work, from his house to his work, then from his work, papunta sa another location. So, that is, we will have d sub 1 plus d sub 2 all over our speed. Then, we can now easily substitute yung ating mga values from our given. So, we will have, for distance 1, that is 25. For distance 2, we have 40 over 50. So, solve lang natin. 25 plus 40 is 65 over 50. For the lowest term of 65 over 50, that is equal to 13 over 10. O kaya naman, in decimal, that is 1.3. So, our time is equal to 13 over 10 or 1.3 hours. So, itong 1.3 natin, pwede rin natin itong i-express into decimal, no? So, take note lang po, no, na this 0.3 is in hours. So, if you want to convert yung ating 0.3 into minutes, we will have our conversion, which is 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So, if we have 0.3 hours times, ang kanyang denominator ay 1. So, we will have dito sa ating numerator is 60 minutes over 1 hour. So, nasa baba yung hour kasi kailangan nating makancel. Para nang sa ganun, ay we can multiply 60 by 0.3, that will be equal to 18 minutes. So, therefore, you can express also this one, your final answer as 1 hour and 18 minutes. Next problem we have, if Mark drives another X kilometers from his work at an average speed of 50 kilometers per hour, and he plans to drive in at most 2 hours. How will you write the inequality to find the additional distance? So for this problem, we are going to write our inequality representation. Our first step in solving this problem is to list down our known and unknowns. So, this problem, similar to sa ating mga previous examples or same situation lang, we have Mark with the average speed of 50 kilometers who travels from his house to his work. So, the distance between his house and his work is 25 kilometers. Then, based from our problem, sabi dito is X kilometers. If Marx drives another X kilometers. So, ibig sabihin, we have to let X be equal to the additional distance traveled by Mark. We also have here yung ating he plans to drive in at most 2 hours. So, it means that we have our time but expressed as at most, or our time will be less than or equal to 2 hours. For this problem, we are asked to write our inequality representation. So, given that we know that speed is equal to distance over time, and looking back at our problems, and given na nilista kanina, meron na tayong isang inequality symbol na na-encounter, which is yung ating at most 2 hours for the time. So, ibig sabihin, given this as a starting point, pwede nating gamitin to in writing our inequality. So, therefore, express natin siya in terms of time. So, we will have distance. Dahil nga po sa ating problem mismo na unang binigay yung ating mga distance, details about distance, and our speed. So, therefore, dito sa left side ng ating inequality, lagay natin yung distance and speed. So, distance over speed is at most 2 hours. So, that is less than or equal to our time. So, meron na tayong inequality. Ayusin na lang po natin yung ating pagsulat ng inequality given our known and unknown sa ating problem. So, that will be distance. We have 25 kilometers and X for the additional distance. So, that is 25 plus X over our speed, which is given na 50 kilometers per hour. We will have less than or equal to our time, which is 2 hours. Let's try to elaborate more our problem. Let's say we want to try to solve for the value of our X in our inequality. So again, our given, we have still the speed, which is 50 kilometers per hour, distance 25, time is at most 2 hours, and X for the additional distance traveled. So kanina, we have now our inequality, which is 25 plus X over 50, less than or equal to 2. Now, let's try to solve for our X. To solve our inequality, first thing we have to do is to remove our denominator by multiplying both sides by 50. So, 50, dito sa ating left side, maka-cancel. Then, we will have 25 plus X less than or equal to 2 times 50 is 100. Then, transpose natin itong 25 to isolate our X sa isang side. So, that is 100 minus 25. And then, we will have now X is less than or equal to 75. Let us try to check our solution. Which is, sabi dito kasi is our X is less than or equal to 75. So, any number less than equal to 75, pwede nating i-substitute sa ating value ng x. So, let's check if it is true. So, given that our x is equal to 60, substitute lang natin siya sa ating original inequality. Ayan. So, we have 25 plus x over 50 less than or equal to 2. So, yun ang tanong. So, is it less than or equal to 2? So, when we substitute the value of our x, which is 60, in our inequality, we will have 25 plus 60 is equal to 85 over 50. Is it less than or equal to 2? So, kapag po yan ay ating express in decimal points, 85 divided by 50 is equal to 1.7. So, definitely, that is less than 2. So, therefore, it is true. So, to sum it up, there are different strategies that you can use for solving word problems. So, first thing, read the problem closely. So, lista mo yung mga known and unknown quantities. And take note, for the unknown quantities, next mo is you have to use a variable to represent. And if it helps, draw a diagram. Especially dun sa mga susunod nating lectures or word problems. Then after that, if you have identified your known and unknown, you have to write now your equation. So, ito ay magbabase sa problem or it describes the relationship between your quantities, yung unknown and known quantities mo. Then, if you have written your equation, you can now solve and check your answer. Always check your answer, especially in an inequality and in any problems that you have. So, that's it po for our solving word problems.